So I'm going to be talking to you about the modern era, and the first poem that I'm going to be talking to you about is called The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats. And so the claim is that because the darkness in the poem and that the mention of a religious place, which is Bethlehem, it excuse me, it seems like the darkness is trying to take over from the values and kind of the goodness and the light of religion. And so he supports this in the first line, and he does this by turning and turning in a winding gyre. So the turning and turning is a repetition, which is a poetic technique, and so it makes everything seem like everything's very confusing. And then it goes on to about the winding gyre. And a gyre is like a helix, but instead of two pieces of string or DNA, even it goes on two lines of history. And so when histories kind of meet up at one point and then they go on to their separate paths, and so once they meet, everything changes, and then they kind of break off and do their own thing. And then, so he also uses some other poetic techniques like consonants, which is in this poem is probably one of the best examples of consonants you'll find. And he goes on to say the blood-dimmed tide is loosened, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. And so you can definitely see the repetition of the D and how what emphasis it puts onto the darkness and kind of the very gory scene of the blood-stained ocean, which is very graphic. And also it goes on to mention how the rough beast is going toward the religious place, which is Bethlehem, and so it's going to be born. And also it kind of helps supports the argument that religion is falling and badness is starting to take over. And so it says that and the rough beast its hour come round at last slouches toward Bethlehem to be born. So that's obviously a definite sign that religion is kind of falling to the kind of the darkness.